Good morning, everybody. It's Laura at McNeely Garden Studios on Tuesday at 10. And I'm a few minutes late because I was in the wrong group. I went to my membership, Art and Answers, and had everything ready and I was getting ready to start and I thought, oh, I'm in the wrong place. It's okay. It's okay. I managed to get here and I'm so happy to be here with you guys today. So last week, January, I have done a theme in my membership and I decided that I would share it with you all as well. And for those of you that are in my membership, when I get finished with these 3 workshops, I'm going to put them in the membership so that you can have access to them whenever you like. But last week, we created a touchstone, essentially a word of the year. Something that resonated with you, something that you could focus on. When you have laser focus on something, you constantly think about it and you find a way to make it happen. And that's why you have a theme, you have a title, you have a word that you can concentrate on. And so I described to you that I had 2 words, and then which were bloom and sparkle. And I have my reasons. I did all the research and I wrote it all out on the back so that I would know. But then I got one, and this is what we did last week, joyful servant. And that has come to me in a lot of different ways. It has revealed itself to me to be a lot of different things. Things that I probably needed to open my mind to. And that was a good thing. So that's what we did last week. We figured out a way to come up with that word, and then we created the artwork so that we can put it in our line of sight. And if you're interested in that, all you have to do is go back to last week and look at it. So this week, we're essentially making a vision board, but I had some thoughts and some different ideas about things. Oh, good morning, Jamie. And I wanted you guys to have reasons behind what you do. That's always my purpose. I want you to know the reason behind what you're doing because it will have more purpose, it will have more weight in your life. And I will tell you, with vision boards, of course, you get out your photos or your magazines, or you print out words or phrases that you like. Whatever it is, resources can come from anywhere for a vision board. But I will tell you that I found it very interesting that when I start making a vision board, oh, Jamie, not only this was a plan, and when I get done, I'm going to put my socks on. So yes, a good friend of mine gave me these for Christmas, and I decided that I was going to show them all off. So anyway, each year that I make a vision board, I realize that I become a little bit more experienced at it. And when I first started, I thought, okay, I'm just going to go through a bunch of magazines and whatever stands out to me, whatever I like, whatever seems to have some value to it. Hey, Laurie, good morning. Then I would just tear it out and I would put it on my vision board. And so I'm going to share this one with you. This is last year's vision board. And you know, there's a lot of images there and they mean a lot of things. You see this? I have my door closed today so that little Brady can't get in here. So, I mean, can you see the chaos on this board? Which was okay. That's kind of the way my brain was last year. I mean, there's a lot of things. I do tend to, I always put the date. I'm going to try to get this where you can see. I always put the date on it. I always put here's the initials of my business, McNeely Garden Studios. And I have different areas of my life. So I have the painting and the colors and the camera. So now this was interesting. You see who that is? I had no idea why I put that on there last year. Except that she's a strong representative of the female side, and she's definitely someone to watch and emulate. It's Dolly Parton. And so this is what I'm talking about. Sometimes you put things on here and it helps you concentrate. It helps you really get there. This one I had success, but this is perspective. And that's something I've really gained this year, is perspective. Sometimes things that used to be really important to me, I mean, the towels had to be folded a certain way. Y'all, now if anybody folds a towel, I praise them and I tell them, thank you so much, just put them in the cabinet. So things change. Things change. And that's great. I mean, that's what growing and learning is all about. So I kind of had all my elements of things on here. You guys know that I like paint. I like plants. This is Garden Club magazine. And I like photography. And this is the Professional Photographers Association magazine. And those elements always end up on my vision board. But I'm gonna set this to the side. But this year, some interesting things happened. My vision board was very sparse. Like, it wasn't because I didn't have a lot of magazines. It wasn't like I didn't have time. It wasn't because I wasn't inspired by anything, because I was. I mean, I had a big pile of things to choose from. But the things that actually made the board, I want you to look at the difference. Remember how chaotic and busy this one is? I want you to look at this one. This one still has a lot of things, but nothing like it was, because I gained clarity throughout the year. And I have started to do these practices, like coming up with a word of the year, making a vision board. Next week, we're gonna do a challenge board, which to me has probably been the most important exercise that I have added to my life. I just make it once a year and then I follow along with it. And I'm gonna show you how to do it next week. But this is just something that's sort of my brainchild. I realize now a lot of people have their own version of it, but this one was mine. And so next week, I will show you how to come up, so I put my words here, how to come up with some of the categories and stuff. And this one, hello Loretta. This one has like the months and celebrations, just all kinds of things to check off. So this one is not one and done. The vision board is one and done. The word of the year is one and done, unless you find out that it's just not working for you and you decide to revisit and have another word that's more appropriate. But this is the kind of things that happen. Remember I said I didn't have any idea why I put that picture of Dolly on there? Hello, Sheila. Well, it still made me happy. It reminded me of her and how we can all be lovely and successful at the same time. And this year, so this came from a Better Homes and Garden, Dolly. I happen to have two of them. I tore the covers off both of them and I kept one. I put one on there and I kept the other one. I had no idea why. So this year I made my vision board and I put several things on here that I didn't know why. And some of them I still don't know why. It's going to be fun to see by the end of the year what. But I put Dolly on this one too. This is the bottom part of the advertisement for the one I used last year. I didn't know why. I didn't even see her face on there. I thought, well, you know, the presents are pretty. They're all wrapped in green. And then when we all went to go snow tubing with our family for Christmas. All the adult kids. Jamie has some things she doesn't really know about either. It's really fascinating. Wait till you hear the end of this story. So we went snow tubing, and I was standing there. Well, on our way there, my daughter says to me, you know what? We're doing this event this year. We did that in lieu of gifts this year. We're trying to be less cluttery. So we did this event. And she said, you know, next year we should go to Dollywood. And I was like, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. And it passed and we all forgot about it and no big deal. So then we got there, and my other daughter, as we're going up the little moving sidewalk thing to the top of the hill so we can slide down, my other daughter says, you know what? We should go to Dollywood next year. So what do you think? I never mentioned it. Maybe I channeled it. But now it's on here because we're going to make that happen. And if you start, and that's going to be 12 months from now. So we have time to get our schedules, hello Teresa, our schedules done, and money saved, and plans made, and all the things it takes to get 11 people 2 states away together. That takes a lot of coordination. I don't know if you've ever tried to do anything like that, but it's a big deal. So, oh, Teresa wants to go to Dollywood too. You want to go in December? We're going to go. We're going to meet you. So anyway, when you're making a vision board, I'm just going to kind of tell you some of the things. You get out all your magazines, you do whatever. You get your glue stick and your scissors, and I usually just cut a board in half, poster board in half, because it's more manageable that way. And just tear out what kind of suits you. And then start moving it around. You can actually, I'm a big fan of living with things. So I'll kind of lay things out and walk away, and then come back and say, yep, that's the one. That's it wasn't an impulse buy. That's the one I want. That's the one I want to do. So you need to clarify your goals. And you might not even know until you actually pull out all those images. I don't drink my coffee very dark. And then I put cream in it. So everyone teases me, are you drinking tea? And I do drink a lot of tea. But so you're going to clarify your goals, whether it's going to be your health, your business, personal relationships, just any kind of thing. Whatever seems to be something you want to focus on this year. It could be finances. And you gather all your images, and your materials. And if you want, I have done this before too. I'm not a big fan of it, but if you want to, you can make like categories. Like, this is what I want to do in my financial life. This is what I want to do in my personal life. I wanted to go to the gym so many days, whatever. But to me, that belongs on the challenge board, categories of things. Because this is visual, and you just want to kind of glance at it and notice it. And I'll tell you something else. If you start realizing that you're ignoring, hello Diana, that you're not paying attention to your vision board or your word of the year, whatever, it just becomes part of the scenery, move it. Put it in the bathroom. Put it on your refrigerator. Just keep moving it around so that it becomes like, oh yeah, I need to look at that. Because everyone has those things that, they're beloved things that has stayed in the same spot, probably has a dust ring around it. And you just don't enjoy it anymore. You don't really notice it. This is something you want to make sure that you notice. So select those visuals that you think that are really going to solidify the goal that you want to achieve. Make sure that you put a few in there that you don't know what they mean, like Dolly. You just never know. I do like just a glue stick for this project. It works just fine. You don't need to use matte medium or something. This is not a piece of artwork. This is just a tool for you to carry on. And make sure that you make this process enjoyable. I mean, I really do. Oh, Loretta, Dolly is inspirational, isn't she? I've been aware of her all my life, and I've never heard her say an unkind thing. I mean, I hope that I hope someone says something like that about me when I'm, a little older. But anyway, so make sure that, and realize that as you're creating your vision board, that it is going to, hello, Roberta, it's going to feed into your challenge board, because that's how you start making things more weighty, more valuable, that's how you make your brain realize, or that's how your brain makes you realize that those are the things that are important. Okay? I think, okay. And another thing, I do have some notes. I always have notes. There is one other way that you can approach this. And like I said, I'm not a big fan of doing the categories because that goes on the challenge board. But there is room in my life for maybe two. Because I would do one that is business related and one that's personal related. Hello, Edith. How are you? Because I'm the kind of person that, especially now, I've gotten into, I'm really loving my job. And that's all I want to think about. But that's not healthy. You need to have a balance. And so I've already done this year's with Dolly on my, with my business and my personal life on the same one. But I'm going to think real hard next year. I may actually take this half board and cut it in half, because you don't have so much space that you get a confusing thing going on. So cut it in half. This is what I'm thinking. And then I'll make one for business and one for personal. Hello, Ria. How are you? I'm so glad you all here. So anyway, you've got your word of the year, which I like to call my touchstone, because it's something that I always go back to. It's something that's a constant that maintains its space in my life. And after I get my word, then I do my vision board, which is a visual representation of the things that I think that I want to achieve this year. It may not even be with the things that I end up. You love me in red? Thank you very much. And Rhea, look. So, and the third step of gaining clarity so that you can create some success for the new year, which this year happens to be 2025, is the challenge board. And I will tell you that to me, that's the most exciting part. It's the one that I'm looking forward to sharing with you. I'm going to have some categories of things that you can pull your ideas off of and create your own vision board. And I will love to hear from you throughout the year how it's working for you. Like I have main things, but then around the edge, I have things that I try to do every day. And then so I have it all sectioned out into months, like a walk. Like I like to do yoga, like I do a devotional. And so I put a little mark there, and it's a good way to track what you've been doing. It's a good way to figure out if you deserve a reward or if you need to step it up a little bit. It's very easy to look on there and see, oh, I haven't been walking in 2 weeks. I need to go, right? So I'm looking really forward to next week. I hope that you all come and you will start doing these things for yourself. And we are just having so much fun in Art and Answers, and I'm going to put all these workshop tutorials in there so you can look at it at your leisure whenever you like. And just enjoy your life. Don't let life happen to you. You take control. You use your steering wheel, okay? Thank you so much for coming. I always appreciate you so much. I'm Laura from McNeely Garden Studios, and I'm always here on Tuesday. It's at 10. And I hope that you have a wonderful week pulling your magazines apart and creating your vision board. And I'll see you next week at 10. Thanks.